It is shortly after 3 in the morning. Sophie's room lies quiet in the dark. She is still half asleep when she feels a light weight on her chest. Machi, her gray ragdoll, turns around once and lies down. And then, warmth, vibration, the soft, rhythmic purring right next to her heart. Sophie briefly opens her eyes, smiles for no reason, and goes back to sleep. She doesn't know what just happened, but you will know in a moment. What Machi did in this moment is not a habit and not a reflex. It is love language number 1, and it is older than any human language. In this episode, you will learn the cat's first love language, physical touch. Not as a nice theory, but as something you will see differently starting today. Let's start with the most common gesture that almost everyone misunderstands. Your cat rubs her head against your leg in the morning when you get up. You are still tired, still sleepy, and just keep walking to the coffee machine. For you, 3 seconds, barely noticed, already forgotten, moving on. For her, the complete equivalent of the words "I love you" this morning. Cats have scent glands on their forehead, cheeks, and chin, tiny chemical transmitters. When they rub against you, they leave something of themselves on your skin. Not out of possessiveness, but as a sign, we belong together, you are safe. In the world of a cat, that is the most profound sentence she can form. From that moment on, you carry her scent, and she breathes in yours. That is a ritual, it is daily, silent, and you have overlooked it. Now I want to tell you about another moment that Sophie described to me. It was an evening in November, gray, cold, after a long, hard day at work. Sophie sat on the sofa, knees pulled up, just trying not to cry. Machi was in another room, until she suddenly appeared, without warning. She didn't jump to her, she sneaked up quietly and pressed her head against her. Not gently, really firmly, with emphasis, as if she wanted to transfer something. Sophie initially found it annoying, then she started to cry. But differently this time, like when you realize you are not alone. What Machi did there is called bunting in English, head bunting. That is the strongest physical signal in a cat's entire communication repertoire. It means, I trust you so absolutely that I no longer need any protection. I come to you with 0 distance, with my head, my forehead, myself. Cats don't do this with everyone, only with their most important person, maybe 2. If your cat greets you like this, then you are her most important connection to the world. But here is something that almost everyone completely overlooks when it comes to touch. Now comes kneading, and I bet you always laughed and flinched at this. Your cat sits on your blanket, on your stomach, on your arm in the evening, and starts pressing rhythmically with her paws, left, right, on and on. It tickles, it pulls sometimes, you shift her a bit, she just keeps going. Do you really know where this behavior comes from, and what it wants to tell you? Little kittens need when they nurse from their mother in their first weeks of life. It stimulates the milk, it means warmth, protection, the earliest feeling of home. If your adult cat still does this, you are that feeling for her. You are her mother, her first safe place, her earliest good memory. That is not a habit, that is the oldest form of love she knows. And you were the one who triggered it, through your presence, your warmth. I have to pause for a moment, because this next part truly surprised me. Why do cats purr in the first place? What exactly happens in their bodies? Purring lies in the frequency range of 25 to 150 Hz. That is precisely measurable. The Journal of Feline Medicine documented, these frequencies demonstrably promote bone regeneration. The same frequencies have an anti-inflammatory effect and can accelerate wound healing in mammals. When your cat lies on your chest and purrs, her entire body literally vibrates. This vibration physically transfers to you. You feel it with all your skin. She is healing herself, and along the way, without knowing it, possibly you too. Not as a metaphor, as a measurable, biological, physical reaction between two living beings. That is exactly what Machi did on Sophie's chest that November night, sending frequencies. And Sophie slept deeply, deeper than in the weeks before, she told me. But here comes something that almost everyone misunderstands, and that damages relationships. Not every cat wants to be touched all the time, and that is not rejection. When your cat looks at you, sits near you, but doesn't come close. That is also language. I am here, but I don't need contact right now. Respecting that is exactly the right answer to this love language. Because forced touch destroys the very trust she has built up. A study from the University of Lincoln shows cats develop genuine attachment behavior to specific humans. They return to this person, actively seek their proximity by choice, not hunger. That means, when she comes to you, even though she has the whole house free, she has chosen, today, in this moment, you, consciously and freely. That is no small thing. That is the result of 100 small moments with you. Every time you didn't push, every time you were simply there. Every gentle stroke you ended before she wanted to leave, that counted. Without noticing, you have developed a language that belongs only to the two of you. Sophie told me what has changed since that November evening, very concretely. She no longer pets Machi in passing, fleetingly, briefly, on the go, like before. She stops now. She takes a quiet breath, and waits to see what comes next. Sophie said, I have learned to listen with my hands, not with my expectations. That is the sentence I want to give you today, because it summarizes everything. Touching a cat is not petting when you feel like it, relaxing on the sofa. Touch is a language, with grammar, with rhythm, with pauses, with meaning. And when you start treating it that way, everything changes, very slowly. Tonight, when you come home, do exactly that. Stand still for a second. When she rubs against your leg, quietly place your hand on her back. No pushing, no grabbing, no expectations, just being there, in the same room, quietly. And then, I sometimes wonder what your cat would tell you if she could. What is the one moment where her touch said more than words ever could? Write it to me, in a single sentence, exactly as she herself would speak. And if you know someone who thinks their cat is just cold and aloof, send them this video, without explanation, just like that, so they can decide for themselves. In the next video, it's about love language number 2, time, silent presence. The silent way of saying, I am here, completely without a word.